Feelings about Origin Plus, very mixed. You know what? It's cool that we're getting like the Game Gear games because the last thing they were released on was probably in the GameCube era, GameCube and N64, not 64, GameCube and PS2 era. I just don't like the fact that people had to pay $40 to $45 for the original version and now have to pay another $10 to get access to Origins Plus if they have the digital version of the original game. Just seems like a big... I feel scammed, basically. So I'm not a fan of it for that reason alone. Which, I guess, you know, people could claim hindsight, but hindsight makes you sound like an arrogant jerk anyways. It's like, oh, well, you should have waited to buy it. And it's those kind of people that kind of piss me off, so it's like... I think that's what kind of led me to like, you know, I don't want to talk about Sonic for a while because I'm just too frustrated with the intellectual property. It should have been $5. Honestly, it wouldn't matter to me if it, because if the physical version of Origins Plus, which is the big, okay, so with Sonic Origins Plus, here's the thing. If you buy either the physical version or the digital version of Plus, not just the base game, from all the marketing, you apparently get all of the content of Sonic Origins Digital Deluxe, and the Plus content as well for $40. Sonic Origins last year was released for $40, $45 if you buy the Digital Deluxe edition, which has all of the extra content that they managed to screw up as well. So people who were the early adopters, which is a lot of people, are now getting screwed over by $10 because they have to pay another $10 just to get the Plus content. I'm assuming the Plus content is $10, which now makes it a $50 to $55 game. And anybody who didn't really get it at the start, waited until Origins Plus was announced, is now going to benefit, which is great, but the people who were early adopters are getting screwed in the process. I wish something could be done about those who bought the Digital Deluxe Edition. I feel like they are... I think it would be nice if they got something for their early patronage. I'm not sure if that's the right way to say it, but like for being an early adopter and going out of their way to pay the extra $5 for this. But yeah, I'm super frustrated with that. And then I guess if I want to nitpick a little bit, I saw the trailer that had the Game Gear games and there's a bilinear filter on it. I hope there's an option to get rid of that because... the port of the game was already blurry enough as it is, and I know I've been told just use the sharp mode. It's still blurry. Like you could do a side-by-side with a fan game that uses proper like interpolation that slightly blurs the pixels so it still looks even, but it doesn't have the shimmering even though it's not even, but it's, you know, hard to tell. But yeah, it frustrates me so much. And it's not that I hate Sonic. I love the Sonic franchise. It's just, man, the decisions that are being made, just... I've never been so annoyed by the series, by the company that holds the series. And, I mean, I have no ill will towards them. It's just, I'm annoyed. Can't you get Mega Man X Legacy Collection, one or both for $40, $20 each, and that's 8 games. It's not even the fact that the games, like the number of games, it's just how they're treating the collection and how they've treated previous releases of the same content. Like, I don't remember Capcom removing the Mega Man X games from the 3DS and Wii U when the X Legacy Collection was released, but Sega gets to nuke all of the classic Sonic games that were on previous, that were available in other ways. There's just so much of it that I hate. And I don't mean, you know, dislike, and I'm just using hate as a strong word. I genuinely hate it. Okay, so last year, or it was going to be probably at the beginning of this year, I had this big video that I wanted to work on. Every playable way that you can play Sonic the Hedgehog classic Sonic games, 1, 2, CD, and 3 and Knuckles. And it was going to cover everything that was available prior to the release of Sonic Origins. Everything... And then the May 2022? I forgot what date it was. It's like the 17th or something like that. When those games were delisted, Origins, and then what we have after Origins, which does it. A few things are added, and a few things do remain. But man, they just nuked a bunch of games that were alternatives. It's not the same game, with the exception of the mobile versions, which are similar enough. It's just, I care about this stuff. I love retro gaming, and like, it pisses me off as a retro gamer, as someone who likes seeing like more authentic versions of these games, because let's be honest, that classic mode is a sham. It is a straight up lie. And the lack of options, the lack of customization with it, and the botched sound tests, and the garbage-looking 3D models that you have to pay $5 for the privilege of, it just added up to something where I'm like, you know what? I need to focus my energy on something that I like, because the Sonic franchise is going to infuriate me to no end. We're in a time where I'm not allowed to be negative about, or I can't voice my displeasure with it without coming off as nitpicky, because people have set the requirements of what they consider to be nitpicky, and that changes with every single person, and it just sounds, they will twist what you say into making you sound like the biggest nitpicker in the world. But honestly, I'm just tired. I am tired of so much Sonic related stuff. So I'm just frustrated with the franchise at this point, and I'm doing what many people say. Play something else. Doesn't mean I'm not going to criticize it, because there's a lot to criticize. But I'm playing the stuff that makes me happy. Like, I've been, like, Dead Cells. I didn't know a damn thing about this game and started playing it, and it's like one of the things I could sit down and play for a long period of time. Oh yeah, and then beat the game. That's just a special thing for this stream. That was wild. I can't believe I actually beat the game. I love how random streams can get. But, yeah, it's just... Origins is probably one of the worst compilations that I've ever had to endure. And it's not even just the, oh, I like specific things in Sonic. It's just, there's so much to it that frustrates me, and I'm just done with it. Oh, secret. Honestly, you might as well get the mobile ports, Sonic 3 Error, which is less than 2. I have all that stuff on my phone. Like, I literally have, like, everything except for Mania on my phone. And I paid for the ads to be removed and all that stuff, so I'm doing everything legit. And the ROM of Sonic 3 and Knuckles comes from my Steam version of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, so that's how I have Sonic 3 Error on my phone. So I did everything legitimately. It's all done through my purchased copies of the game. Classic Sonic Origins just sends me on a spiraling, like, rant. And because I've had, like, no motivation to make a video on it. I should have done it the moment that game was announced, because there were already issues that I had. Well, that's what Sailing the High Seas are for. Nah, I always advocate for supporting the developer. Like, I will never say go pirate the game unless it is technically impossible. If there's no realistic way of picking up a game, that is, like, the most extreme it goes. But if you can buy the game and extract the files, like that Genesis collection, you could extract the game files from it and use it on your Genesis emulator, because that collection has a terrible emulator compared to something like Kega Fusion or Genesis GX or whatever it's called, Genesis GX Plus. Like, you have better emulator options and you have a way to extract it, so it's not like you're going on some random ROM site and downloading it. I try to keep it where I can be okay with it. I can be comfortable with recommending it. I don't want it where I'm just like, oh yeah, just go on so-and-so site and just pirate everything. It's like, no. At the end of the day, it is something that, you know... Oh, that is definitely something that if I do start saying, it's going to come back and bite me in the butt, so... Maybe best if I don't do that, but gotta be responsible with these things. Ask others what their opinion of Sailing High Seas. Ask them somewhere in Nevada. Yeah, I apologize for the rant. It's just... I wouldn't make a big deal out of it if I didn't care.